Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here, answering your questions today. Today's question is on blisters. Did I ever get blisters when I played? Do major league guys get blisters? And if you get them, how do you take care of them? Before we get into that, I want you guys to check out the description box below. We're doing a special promotion with Plate Crate, where you guys will get 50% off your first plate crate if you check out the link below and click on it. Definitely check it out. Really, really cool service. I know a lot of you guys have heard of it. If you haven't, check it out there. So let's talk about blisters. Okay, first off, blisters are a really natural thing for baseball players, especially players that hit a lot. And so I used to always get blisters at some point of the year. What happens a lot is, at least for me, I'd get them right away when I'm working out in the winter time. I'd always get them in the same spot. So depending on how you hold the bat, everyone gets them a little bit different. But like for me, I don't know if you guys can see well here, I'd always get one right here. This would be where I got my worst one. And if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but I still have a mark. And so when I hit fungos and stuff, I'll still get, like, I've got a callus here. And so I haven't really gotten a bad blister here since hitting fungos. But I will get some up here. So basically right across here, you can see again, I have a bunch of calluses. Sometimes these calluses will rip open or I'll form some type of blood blister. But this was kind of the main spot when I was playing that I would get them. So here's the thing. As a hitter, you know, everyone's hands are a little bit different. And so some people have really tough hands, and so they don't get blisters at all. A lot of the guys that don't use batting gloves in the major leagues, I mean, they get just some like really rough hands, right? It's like sandpaper. And so, you know, they don't get a whole lot of blisters. But there's a ton of players, like for me, I've got pretty soft hands. And so my hands will tear really, really, really easily. And you can see how, you know, I have those calluses, which kind of help build up over time. The important thing is if you have calluses, you want to make sure they don't get too high. So the more you swing, the more they're going to build up. And so we used to just, you know, they used to have a bunch of these little things like these shaver things in the minors and major leagues where you'd come in and just kind of shave down your calluses just to make sure they don't get too big, because if they get too big, they have a chance of just tearing open and ripping off, and that's when you really get a whole lot of pain. So make sure you're doing that. But you have to build up some of these calluses. So what happens is when you don't hit for a while, like I used to always get a lot of, you know, I'd get blisters in the off season when I would finish with the season. I'd take a little bit of time off and then I get back to hitting, and your hands just aren't tough. They get soft if you don't hit all the time. And so, you know, the first few times you hit, you get some blisters, and you just got to kind of work through it. And sometimes, I mean, sometimes it kills. But once you work through it and then you're able to build up some calluses, they'll typically, you know, the pain becomes less and they go away. So one of the most important things to do is, if you haven't hit in a while, don't just jump in there and take 8,000 swings, right? You got to kind of build it up gradually. And so, you know, maybe the first day you go out and you only take 100 swings or something like that, or even 50 swings, and you start to feel some pain, and you know, you look down at your hand and you've got all these marks, but you don't have any blisters formed yet, you know, then take a day off and then come back and hit again and just slowly kind of progress up and build it up. That's one way to do it. The second way is don't take a ton of time off. So if you continue to hit just a little bit, I'm not saying every day, but you know, even in the off season, if you're hitting just a little bit or just picking up a bat and swinging a little bit, maybe a couple days a week, your hands don't have a chance to just completely, you know, become too soft again. And so, like I said, the biggest time for me that I got blisters was in the off season when I hadn't hit for a while, or when I'd get to spring training right away, because even in the off season, like if you're hitting a lot in the off season, it doesn't compare to what it's like once you get to spring training. Because in spring training, you're going to get to the field at like 6, 7 a.m. and you're going to play baseball all day long. And that just doesn't happen in the winter, no matter how hard you work in the winter time or in the off season time. And you're going every single day. So a lot of times in spring training, a lot of guys would get them because their hands just aren't used to the beating that you're going to take by getting in there at 6 a.m. and you're going to hit early work, and then you're going to go in for a little bit, and then you're going to come back out, and you're going to, you know, you're going to practice, you're going to hit batting practice, and you're going to go back in, and you're going to come back out again, and you're going to get loose again for the game, and then you're going to go play in the game. And by that time, you've been out all day long, and then you're going to go home, and you're going to come right back the next day and go again. So you're taking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of swings every single day, and, you know, no matter what you do, your hands just, it's really hard to train your hands for that. And so it's going to happen. And so ways that we would, I talked about shaving down the calluses to make sure that they don't get so big that they just tear off. Other ways that I saw guys do it is some guys would actually wear 2 pairs of batting gloves on their bottom hand, because that's usually where the calluses form. I don't get, or blisters form. I don't get any on my top hand. It's all my bottom hand. And so sometimes guys would wear 2 batting gloves, and that kind of helped give them a little bit of extra cushioning. Other times guys would take like a little pad, you know, a thin little pad. You can get them anyway. You get them at CVS or Walgreens, and so they would just, you would cut it into a little circle, and you would just put it right wherever you get your blisters. So for me, I always get one right here, and so I would just put a little pad right there, and then I would tape like a pre-wrap around it, put it around a few times, and put it around my wrist, and that would keep it on there really well. And then I put my glove on, and I wouldn't use this all day. Like I wouldn't use it during the game or anything like that. But if I was going to go out to early work and say take 100 swings, or maybe I was going to go out to take batting practice, I would just put it on just to kind of give my hand a little bit of a break and some padding. It didn't always feel super comfortable. But again, if I'm just doing early work or a game, or early work or batting practice, like I didn't mind having it be a little bit uncomfortable. I would never wear it during the game, because in the game, you know, I wouldn't want to be uncomfortable at all in the game. But just a little way to, you know, like I said, give you a little bit of padding and just help out with all of those swings that you're taking throughout the year. So again, blisters are a really big part of baseball. It's not just, you know, I've gotten this question a ton from players, and it happens at all levels. The other thing before I finish up here is the grip that you're using. So depending on what you're using, whether you're using just a wood bat with no grip, you know, sometimes I always got worse blisters when I used a wood bat. So if I had a metal bat that had like a pretty nice, comfortable grip, I didn't get it as much. With a wood bat, sometimes I'd get a little bit more. Also, depending on where you hold the knob. So if you choke up a little bit, you'll be good right around here. You may still get some up here, but you'll be pretty good right around here. Some guys go over the knob a little bit, and so they'll get it in a little bit of different spots. So depending on where you hold the knob, and again, it's a comfort thing. Like, so for me, I wouldn't change very much just because I have a blister. Maybe if I was doing a lot of hitting and a lot of extra work and I started to feel like it was really hurting, I'd just slide the knob a little bit down or a little bit up just to relieve that area, and that would give me some relief also. So you can move your grip around, or move the knob around, and just try different grips, right? If you have a grip, maybe you tape your grip. You know, that might give you some issues, and so just try different things. If you can't get rid of your blister, try a different grip, try to move your hand around, try some of those other things that we talked about. And that's really it, guys. It's a normal part of the game. You just got to kind of work through it and learn what type, you know, how your hands react to hitting, and just figure out a plan so that you can, you know, not have really bad blisters when you're going into a game, because it does make it a little bit tough. So let me know if you have any more questions in the comment section below. I appreciate it. Check out our Instagram, Antonelli Baseball, and our Twitter feed, MattAntonelli9. We're posting videos all the time for you guys. Check out the description box below. Like I said, we have our plate crate link down there where you guys can get 50% off your first plate crate. We also have a bunch of books I've been reading that I think you guys will find interesting, and also a bunch of training tools. Check out our website, AntonelliBaseball.com, to learn how to be part of our teams and also work with our staff. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much again for watching. We appreciate it, and take care.